sakes. He said, lovely for you, and I was like, all right, what am I going to get? I was expecting a backhanded compliment, but he said, wonderful, so I'll take it. Thank you very much, Richard.
Much nicer than Galaris, that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much kinder.
Same colour and same region of the country, although James hides it really well.
He puts on a fake accent.
He does. He goes for that fake accent. Richard just keeps to his roots. Keeps to his roots. But anyway, I don't think he wears brute. But anyway, guys, pulling away from the game, let's talk about it because we just saw G2 picking up the win.
Yep.
Fantastic performance for them. We're expecting to continue to see this. You can see, looking in Minas Generales, Reciprocity, Vitality going in there. You can see TSM and Unity also heading up towards Hacienda. I feel that maybe Unity have pulled a little away from that. I'm not too sure. We'll see whether it continues. But I want to follow on about what they were talking about, in-game leaders. You know, it's something that...
It's an interesting topic.
It's a big topic. I mean, it's... How do you compare?
Sounds he just fell from something.
Oh, don't tell me he got caught on something and then the parachute dropped him. I reckon that's... It's got to be, right? He's got to have got caught on a tree or whatever and he knew and it drops you down or bounces you.
I have no idea, but whatever's happened has made me giggle.
But anyway, I wanted to go, how do you compare? Because we've both covered a lot of games.
Yeah.
How do you compare in-game leaders in PUBG to, say, other games? Like,
So
is it
hard,
as detailed as, say, like, you know, I guess it's not as split-second. Oh, I guess it can be at times.
But it's not as focused, I think, is the only thing. It's not focused on such a centralized area. It's obviously, it's so much variety to it. And it's a really hard topic to discuss because there's so many different opinions of how to approach it because no one's perfected it yet. There isn't that super team yet. We've had teams get close, but it's consistency and that no one's been able to be like, all right, this is our year. We've literally just, you know, done it all.
Yeah.
Whereas other games, you've seen that meta change of, okay, well, we're just going to have the 5 fraggers and a coach, and that'll work. That gets changed. Okay, well, we need a dedicated in-game lead. You know, it's already had that meta shift in other games. I don't think we've seen the perfect composition yet. No,
because even if you look to probably like the most successful one right now is Team Liquid. Yep. And actually, they have almost 2, right? Because, you know, it used to be Jeems, then it was, it's kind of Gemty, and you kind of have, in PUBG, you almost have different situational in-game leaders. But also, you know, going to teams, one of the clearest things for me is there has to be one voice that people listen to.
Correct. And I agree with this. Now, I know in other games, my easiest experience is CS. I mean, there was a couple of other theories. I think one of the only examples where it strayed away from that in the current meta, where a coach can't call for you, let's just keep it in the same format as this, would be the Karrigan-Nico combination, right? So Karrigan was your overall voice. He says the strats at the start, the approach, the theory, but then Nico would relay information. So he'd be the, you know,
what's
he'd be
developing
your scout,
in the round,
Exactly. If he would act like a scout, if he was your going in first, he'd go to the other site, for example, he'd be out on his own. He could relate, all right, well, I've just had this rotation, this utility. He kind of feeds that back in, but he's the other voice. He can also have impact. I don't mind that in PUBG.
Yeah.
But I still think, and I stand by this, I hated when teams at the start, I remember asking them, you know, do you have an idea? And they're like, oh no, we all do it. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
That's bad. Yeah.
But the problem is that people get comfortable with this, and it's a pride thing as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pride in putting all your faith in your
Listen
IGL.
to me, sort of
exactly.
thing. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how it develops over time. I think there should be one overall voice, and you do give the scout information relay, where it's like everyone relays info. That's obviously the case. But he can potentially sway things off the back of what his information that no one else can see is.
And it's the same, like if I were to compare it to, say, you know, League of Legends, obviously I did that for many years. You will, again, similar to Counter-Strike, you'll have that one guy that's their overarching voice, but certainly in that, and I guess you could relay it to PUBG in terms of, obviously, you have, say, you know, your duo lanes. Well, they are going to have very specific information that only relates to them, and it doesn't need to go to the rest of the team, so they will make a decision based on that, not based on what the in-game leader says. And that's also similar to, like, for example, you have your 2-2 splits. You know, if your in-game leader's not here, he's not seeing what you're seeing, so therefore you may see something that actually should be beneficial.
I'm always curious where they sit, because in IGL, traditionally, and most other esports, middle, because then you can see everything else. I'm always curious, in 2-2 splits, do they put the 2 voices, other ends, or, you know, next to each other so they can see each other's screens?
Well, actually, you know, next time we see Team Liquid,
because they're an easy example to look at, right? I want to see who's next to who and if it's actually that way.
Because
I'd be
it's always Gemty and Ibiza and Jeems and Samty that split a fight for a call. I think that's how they tend to 2-2 split. We'll keep our eye on it. Keep our eye on it. We'll see where they're sitting.
It's always interesting because it will change as the game goes on. I can promise you 100% once one team cracks it, has consistency over time, shows that we are dominating this meta, everyone will turn to that style.
Yeah.
And then it shifts again. One team will break it, everyone looks at how they've broken it, and you keep going and going and going. But I do think it's a very interesting approach, and I think we'll see some great in-game leaders arrive here. And already we are seeing Team Liquid in a bit of a battle, and it's Unity, it's the early teams going very central, and it's the Knights not far off either. So Liquid are having a very tricky time.
Yeah, James is having to back away from this fight. He's getting caught in the back. Meanwhile, Samti's taking a fight the other side onto Znark, the man that just snaked his way into second place for the Knights in the previous round. He's been picked off, and he should just about get away from that one. The Mini 14 not quite working out for Samti there, but he needs to turn his attention towards James, who's continuing to run with 2 on his back.
Yeah, I'm... these guys... I love watching Team Liquid because when it goes well, it looks beautiful, it looks perfectly planned, it looks like they're really, ready and waiting to take on a whole other squad by themselves, but it's been a little scary at the moment. They've been pressured everywhere, and they don't have a bit of hard ground to stand on, really. They've got a bit of a hillside,
and this, we literally just talked about it. When one team does something successful, others copy it. Team Liquid predominantly were the team that moves on 4 to 5 minutes. Yep. And going center point, well, look at what's going on. Digital Athletics are doing the same thing. Yes, the circle's kind of been in their favor last time. Crowd are there. Unity going pretty early and getting central point. So what they've done successfully, other teams will continue to follow. Thriftfully executing that one, and maybe didn't need to waste the bullet there. I think Senpai was going to bleed out. But you got to confirm your kills.
God forbid that gets stolen from some dirty little angle 400 miles away. Like, all right, cool. But good points to be picked up. And a big loss for Crowd, who... had a really nice start to the last game. I think for me, it was just enjoyable to see them being quite proactive. I think they overstepped the mark, but it's a good time to test it. This is the best time to get that kind of aggressive tendencies out, kind of play it out and see how it feels. I don't know if they had other options. I did quite like their position in the last game, but still, losing out on them early, or one of their players early, is actually a big loss.
I feel TSM are losing out on this Unity battle they're having. Because, well, this Unity run over their own teammate just to make sure, I'm
really
not...
hammer it home.
Yeah, just hammer it home. But anyway, what I mean is, I feel they're forced to change their rotations. I'm trying to think of their... Oh, wow, Orange got picked off as well. Oh, that has not gone well for Unity.
It might not just be Orange either.
Oh, my word, that is a disaster. Crowd took him down. Blaston get finished off by James as well. So, yeah, that's gone horrible for Unity there.
And it looks, I don't see a potential for them to get away with this. It looks like they're trying to get back over, though.
Look at
Tab's running in. Tab's going to try for this one.
No, he's going to finish him off. He's just going to flush him. It's going to be easy for him. Yeah, they're not going to get him help out. No. The question is, will Crowd get it? Yeah, Tab's going to finish him off, so that's an easy 2 kills for Crowd, who just had a very good start in the previous round.
But it's that trade, isn't it? Is it worth losing out on that player to benefit those points? Does it kind of hinder you late game? Is it worth it early game to get these points back? Points are points at the end of the day. That is always good. And you've kind of solidified the area you're in. That's one other benefit. But I worry when teams lose out on players early. It's always such a horrible sign because you can't do those 2-2 splits. You start losing out on so many options. You lose out on that bit of a flex player that you could potentially bank on later on. Obviously, you didn't intend to lose out on one, but it's what they've been given here. Now, we are seeing still vitality and reciprocity.
Yeah. Speaking of losing out, it's the teams, and this is a battle we will see probably continue. That's a big shift. See continuing for probably 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see how it develops.
Okay.
Based on the fact that they are clashing on both Miramar and Erengel, but that is a hard southeast shift. Los Leones obviously also, we should mention it, enveloping the majority of the circle. I would say probably 40% of the circle is Los Leones.
Water and...
So that really shrinks the playable zone that a lot of these teams are looking at.
Look at Rage Your Age like, yes, boys, we've finally been given a circle.
Edge game's working for us.
Exactly. I'd love them to do a 2-2, just take over that southern side. I think for now they're happy to maybe sit where they're at. We are still seeing the reciprocity vitality. Consistent battle. Raffi tried to go out on a limb, and his limbs get ripped apart. So that's Nasus on the other side. And it's a scary revive to go for. I think Shiv might know his options are very limited unless you get Haxeti or Skoom going early. And Haxeti, once he gets warmed up, once he gets kind of unleashed, he's a great player, but I feel like he's been kind of, quelled and unable to really get into battle. And Vitality, again, kind of winning out here. Last time, I think it was Scoom that went down first. And again, they win in these situations.
Yeah.
Kemba is lucky to be alive. Uh-oh, Jeems just pulled up.
How did he get away with that? I don't know how Kemba didn't manage to catch him, whether Jeems managed to hop drive seat and then jump out there. Quickly goes to the nade, likes to cook it, but will back away from that. I'm not too sure how he survived. Just car flashing by him. Crocran have the support arriving, so Jeems not going to back away from this one. You can see Ibby's got the Grows already, so he wants that close quarters fight as well. Little risky, I would say, on the edge of Lost Leone as it is, because you don't really know what's going to be around the next corner.
Yeah, I think all of us, speaking of all of us, I don't think TSM are aware that Kaint's that split from the rest of G2. He's going to hear this going on. It looks like they're going to continue forward. TSM maybe going further south. I think most of us know how these circles kind of feel and how they certainly play out. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it often closes on Leones, and obviously it does not close on the coast all that often just because of how the circle works. So you can see almost all of the teams heading as, you know, slap bang
Banking
central.
on the southeast sort of spot, right? Yeah, look,
I don't
between
think-
Ents and
Okay,
TSM.
hold on. He's now got a really fun situation. He could potentially isolate a couple of 1v1s here. Already finding Wookiee is a big feather to put in the cap, and he can just be a real nuisance. This might force TSM just to keep moving. I don't think it's worth them trying to break into this compound. That could be a nice little upgrade for Kaint as well, because no one else is close by, and this is huge work for G2. That southeast side did potentially have TSM in it. Now, they're nowhere near them. They've had to go further south.
And look at G2, they're continuing to try and center up as much as they can. Vitality are just about coming into the zone. The last two members of Unity also doing the same. Reciprocity, look at this, they're having to go out in the blue. They're so worried about running into Vitality at the moment. You know, all the talk, all the bluster and gusto that came from scrims, we've been dominating them and all that, that's gone out the window. You never know. You can never rely on scrim results. Obviously, we don't tend to publicize, and they're done. Actually, I think they've been public this week. I think they have been publicly viewable, so most people will have seen any results if they've had access to them. Na'Vi, this western side starting to get a little crowded.
But I'm scared of Na'Vi. I'm scared of how good and aggressive they can be. I don't think we've seen them pushing all the way to late game really with that just yet. They've been able to sneak a couple of players forward, but if they get there with the collective continuing that sort of approach and playstyle, they're a deadly team.
Yeah, I won't get a hold of someone that will be able to answer my questions. If Senya is the leader now and he can control those three amazing fraggers, that is a fearful lineup. That circle, a little off-center with the centering up there, but you can see NIP, they're kind of cruising into the back of Na'Vi. Now, Na'Vi have got FaZe shooting at them from up the hill as well, so they're in a tricky spot. That may give NIP a bit of a chance to drift on by while this action continues. 8Z is in a position to catch NIP off guard there.
Yeah, it looks like NIP just want to do the old, car crash on the motorway, quick little glance over, slow down a second, then just get the hell out of there.
It really is.
Yeah, you don't want to pull up. It's just seeing what's happening with Na'Vi. That is big, catching out Senya. And Na'Vi trying to find options, and they don't have many here.
Yeah, it was the Knights that downed him, and it was stolen frag there. That's what we're talking about. Flush the kill. You'll hear a lot of the teams will be flush, flush, flush. You know, whatever you're playing. Came from the old plumbers phrase as well, which Marty was a part of, I believe. A long time ago, they used to change the teams around a lot back then. NIP, yeah, look at that. See, just because of those gunshots that were going on between FaZe and Na'Vi, NIP are like, nope, we're going north. They've immediately diverted, gone well away from this one, and they're going to come in just on the edge of Los Leones.
Yeah, this is quite an interesting area as well. There's a lot of topography play here because it kind of goes higher up the closer you get to Leones and the hills roll down it. So teams like Vitality, Liquid, Ents, Crow Crowd do get really good vision over the rest of this. I'm curious how much loot they have to play with, what positioning they actually walk away with. The one issue with Team Liquid's position, for example, is they have that cliffside that overlooks them, so potentially could be pressure from Ents if they get forced. There's a lot of folding points now on this one. The southern side isn't too compact yet. M19 could lose out on individual players, but we are seeing all the teams on the outskirts looking for options. Na'Vi forced back into looking north. They're on a very long way, which will be kind of dipping in and out of the blue if they have to. Uzi in trouble.
Caught the tire. That was a nice shot from 8Z there. Just catching him out. Doesn't quite catch the head, though. Just sort of, that's a turnaround straight away from Meduzi. Force him back in there, and that should give Na'Vi a free passage to the north. But the problem is they are going to follow in NIP, who've just got themselves positioned in a 2-2.
And I'm so glad we heard from G2 on the couch and how they were going to play the kind of edge game and take their time. They're not going central anymore. And look at this setup. They're playing it really nicely. It's a catch-all. You've got Reciprocity. Shiv, sure, he can work his way in, but you've got Kane and Braxico there. If not, they get spotted out by Udir, by Chris. They hold a great deal of ground. They're acting like this is their choice, which it is, and they're playing it with an advantageous approach rather than being passive and scared of the outside of that circle. They're holding the line. Speaking of holding the line, Na'Vi are finding very little respite here. They've swung north, and they've found NIP.
Yeah, this is what they were inevitably going to run into. NIP were in a 2-2, but they decided, okay, let's group a little closer here. Let's try and get different angles. They've got to be careful because Crow Crowd actually are taking shots behind them, it seems. They haven't taken too much damage from them. That is a big circle shift, though. That has once again hard shifted this down to the southwest. There's shift going down. Braxico, that's the second frag picked up by them, taking those edge players out. Reciprocity continuing to move around the south as well. That's not going to go well for them.
No, and it looks like Na'Vi, suffering somewhat of a fate here. NIP hold the line, and then FaZe fancy the action. They're just going to be stealing it away. Now, Crow Crowd being caught as well. They had the high ground, but they're trying to work away from it. Unity on the other side. The nades come in, and Na'Vi go down. Closing out on 16th. Wow. It's a big loss. They're such a scary team, but they just couldn't find a way in.
Yeah, they beat Reciprocity to 16th place there because Hacksteady's going down, and that's a 15th for them. Bleeding out, both Scoop and Hacksteady went down to the play zone there as well. Should point out, although G2 putting a heavy amount of damage on them. G2, though, they were playing edge, and now it's got a problem. They're going to push through M19.
But I want to see how they do this. If you have this in mind, you have to deal with hard shifts. If you play edge of circle, you know this could be a potential. So I'm wondering how they approach it. I'll get back to that once we see it in full action, because Vitality is swinging in, TSM aren't far. A lot of action is in that southeast side, but the center is also pretty rife with it. Raise Your Edge had everything at the start. They now get forced towards the edges, but we do see the Knights slowly but surely racking up some bodies here too.
Kar98 onto Windstrike there, and it's a tricky territory to fight over because it is there is a lot of farm fields, open farm fields in this this area. And we're seeing Kane trying to push in, Vitality putting the pressure down. Nasus once again, he had an excellent start to phase one, and it seems to be continuing here for Vitality as he casts a curse, catches him out there, and Chris absolutely nails them.
Yeah, I'll come back on towards that G2 fight because basically they were banking on Chris to get there. Now we're seeing the breach coming from Ents. That's towards Raise Your Edge. That was a compound crash that you saw the Raise Your Edge were prepared for. They knew it was happening. They still couldn't deal with it. There's a fight back though for Sigsy. He's going to fight Mikas. This is Chris finally getting the action, taking down Vitality.
Chris just got all 4 members of Vitality.
Because Braxico and the other teammate were down on the more southern side, keeping all the attention. They died for Chris's sin. He turned up late, but he turned up in style. He was a little late to the party, but it's worthwhile. They will probably be able to get the revive in. I think it was a bit close. But that has basically saved them there. Chris's positioning and Udir's positioning was meant to keep those two safe. They weren't there in time, but as said, made up for it. We did see the fight continuing between Raise Your Edge and Ents, but the yoink coming in from Team Liquid, so they're close enough by.
Yeah, managing to steal it. That's a long-range nade. They managed to catch him there. But FaZe Clan, by the way, they're engaging with NIP. We're seeing G2 trying to make the way up the hills. The problem is once you are in those big fights, they have M19 to push through, but the Knights are trying to get involved. Gustav gets down, but the frag's stolen away by D-Match, which is why we're seeing them turn their attention that way. M19, they're actually fighting on TSM down the hillside. They've got to be careful. G2's coming right on them.
Yeah, G2 are working their way in, and they're a scary team, but I don't know what they have walking into this situation. I don't know what ground M19 has, and Chris has just found Wanderer. I don't know what this guy is doing, but it's doing damn well for his side. M19 still have players up. TSM are being ripped to shreds, and the nades are coming in. Chris finds another. Chris just can't be stopped. Elite
player is in the ditch. There's another nade coming his way. It's going to go past him, but I don't think there's a lot he can do. You can see Pittsburgh Knights, they're taking the shots on TSM and M19, so while G2 come in, they're just sandwiching the poor CIS region in between. Looking around the side, you can see Rory's going to fall down as well to the play zone. Meanwhile, Digital Athletics, they're getting some long-range grenade poundage from Team Liquid once again, who continue to have the play zone go their way.
West side comes in. Let's look at who's primed here. You've got FaZe Clan controlling the north. You've got Team Liquid towards the northeast as well. They're going to have to do with NIP, Unity, coming their way, potentially Raise Your Edge if they swing north. Digital Athletics hold the eastern side, and here's the revive. Now, G2 got a couple of knocks on these players. They got nades, so they've got to be aware this is a potential thing. But now with fire coming into the back, G2 move forward, and there's a trap waiting for them. Chris has not stopped yet, though. 5 kills, 6 kills! Chris is an animal right now. This guy's about to pick up Braxico, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Yep.
But who's the one shooting them in the back?
It was Knights. It was the Knights taking the shots. You can see it's the 2 down low, Wanted and Snark, and they've got Drayden and Reels up top. So G2, you know, just as they did in the last game, they came out on top. They're having to fight their way through teams to do it. So this edge play seems to be working out for them because they've got a lot of frags, and obviously each frag is a point in this super score system.
Let's keep eyes on, though, because Udyr's just come under fire. That's so you've got 2 kind of barriers here. The problem is that G2 taking those fights, being kind of bogged down, slowed down, grinded down to very low HP, means that they're now in trouble. They need a third party to alleviate that pressure, take away the Knights, which is coming in from Digital Athletics. They just found one of the TSM players, knocking them out of this round, and it looks like G2 are now looking towards the north, but Digital Athletics are there, raise your edge. There's no easy way in on the east.
Yeah, G2's trying to sneak in the backside into one of these compounds that Digital Athletics hold. Mert, of course, might be the man outside. Meanwhile, FaZe and NIP continuing to trade blows up on the hillside. You can see Gaxi down, but should be revived there. Miraku nearby. Nobody really in a position to flush that one out. Mexi trying to get over the brow of the hill. Windstrike just having a peek on the backside of FaZe Clan as well. You can see them further down the hillside. Team Liquid or Miracle, you've showed your head a little too much to the boys in blue. They're looking to try and get them kills. Oh, Crow Crowd, they're pushing around the side. Crow Crowd are pushing onto NIP.
Yeah, no, they're just going past them. It looks like they're trying to find a little position to try and find an angle, and it's gone terribly wrong. And it looks like we're seeing G2 kicking off. What's left of them, at least, they're again in another fight. They're going to be in toward Digital Athletics. And Crow Crowd has just gone down. NIP find their way through, stop them from pushing further forward. G's actually pushed on this too, keep in mind. He pushed up to find that fight.
Brexco, the last man standing for G2, so with Chris down, it leaves him. But now Raise Your Edge are also getting involved. Brexco on the last run. They've got plenty of kills, but the blue is certainly biting in phase 5 as now the circle buffers in. It's just going to get harder and harder. He needs to get inside that play zone. Circle centers up, gives Team Liquid all they need. That's one grenade waiting to happen. James is looking to cook it. We didn't get to see. We pulled away from it. I'd love to see where that nade went. If it landed onto NIP, looks like you can hear the sound. It didn't connect. And Jeeves will back away from it.
If only he knew. Now we do see Braxico making it in, but only for so long. Sigzy turns around, finds him, but G2 racking up body bags. These guys just got over 10 kills. They look deadly. I think Chris had so many himself. Really good performance. Not ideal on placement, but still. That aside, they are fragging out.
James is coming again.
James
There's
fancies
another
a second
nade.
go. Let's see what he's got this time.
3 of them together. One of them split away. Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Do you see it rattling? And he's got behind them. He caught them all. And you can see MBS and Gaxi lost so much help.
James!
Another one comes in. Down they go. And NIP find themselves just down to Vard, who tries to come in. There's no reviving you there. This is a phase 6 blue. It's just going to bleed him out before he gets back on his feet. Yes, he will. And Vard's going to die to it as well. He's going to go down to the play zone. A little anger shot to the air, but that's going to be a 7th place for NIP.
Very nice song. Very well played. The Ninjas in pieces after that nade. Let's have a look at who's left here. 6 teams remain, and actually a lot of players standing for these teams as well. We've got some bigger squads, not so many snakes. And the center of the circle is kind of unplayable, quote unquote. It's got the big road through it. No one wants to be there. It's going to split north or south, kind of. We've got the east and the north. Team Liquid and FaZe in the north, and in the south-ish, east, Raise Your Edge, Digital Athletics, Knights, Windstrike.
They're trying to get to the shack, but I think there was a nade coming their way. I think they're trying to get to the shack. Menox has got inside there. Fast Rail is trying his best, but FaZe Clan and Liquid are directly above them. They're getting shot from below by both Windstrike and the Knights, so it's a bit of a blazing battle between Raise Your Edge, but Menox got safe. That could work out for him. Sigzy's going to get picked off. The smoke's dissipating, so you can see the little red flashes there, the new little add-on that came to it. 80 did get down, so Tixu pushed it. 80 was the anchor man, so now he's got to be careful. Mix is going to be watching his behind as Jemty makes a run for it against his former teammates.
Yeah, I'm a little scared, though. This is a fight on 2 fronts for FaZe. That southern side, probably they didn't expect anyone to be over there. That's a push over the road from Tixu, potentially. And now they have to deal with Liquid, potentially, but Liquid are also dealing with Raise Your Edge. But Liquid seem always happy in these 2-2 splits, doing whatever they want. Jemty and Ibi on one side, Samsy and Jeems on the other. Uber in a fight, he's going to get tagged up himself. The nade confirmed towards 80. That's going to kind of make a bit of a problem here for FaZe. They have to worry about that southern side. Nookie's on the way over as well.
6 Mood trying to heal himself out of this one. 8 first aids, a hope and a dream. If he finds fast rail, so that's another Razor Edge member down. They're down to just Menox now sitting in that shack. Team Liquid, they've got a beautiful ridge line, but they've got to move away from it. FaZe Clan get given the circle along with Windstrike, and it's down to the Knights and Liquid to try and move in there, along with Sixmo. You can see he's trying to sneak himself on the edge of the blue.
This is looking like a Team Liquid game, but that first game is still kind of resonating with me. I'm not going to give it to him.
It's down to Fuzzface here, right?
It is exactly down to Fuzzface. He holds the furthest northern point for FaZe. He is your warning signal. He's the alarm bell that should ring. Team Liquid continue their journey. They're aware that FaZe were here. They are not going to go about this duty. They should not get caught off by this, but they also want to keep pressure everywhere. They're not going to stop because of this, but what can FaZe do? Because look, they're so worried about Windstrike in the south as well. I don't know if they can deal with this.
And Windstrike are actually pushing the ridgeline against Mexi as well. So as soon as it looks like they may actually push at the exact same time. Windstrike are getting edgy. Dave's Fuzzface holding the
it's a nice angle.
Tractor angle. Yeah, there we go. There's the warning shot. So Uber saw them. It's actually Nookie taking shots on them as well. So Windstrike taking shots, and that just caught him straight in the face. Down you go, son. Get that heel off, and that's going to buy them time. Fuzzface finds one.
He can isolate.
Samty, he's going to back straight away. He has to move away. The 1v1 former champion from Korea. Long time ago, though, Fuzzface looking to try and put it. And Tixu catches him in the back, but he's got to push in front. Caught out by Tixu, though. The push from behind.
That is big play from Windstrike, moving from the south to the north and just ruining all of FaZe's hopes and dreams in that. Team Liquid now know, okay, well, we've got a couple of players around here. There's not only FaZe, but there's also Windstrike. Let's get this one worked out. Uber in front of them, nade in hand, and Ibby charging further forward. Let's see there on the other side, Uber is in trouble, surrounded. 3 players pouring in. That's going to be Jeans leading the way. No surprise on that one, but the steal comes in.
Stole it again. Windstrike nicking another one. FaZe down to 1 now. Mexi, the last man standing. Razor Edge making the move, but he's going to get spotted. Menox goes down. 6th place for him. As Pittsburgh Knights have moved the other side of the road. They've got the full advantage, but look at Nookie. He's got a clean shot, clean angle. Jeems down, and Windstrike just causing pain for all the teams that have the numbers advantage.
While this happens, the Knights should fold across the road. They're going to be worried about snakes.
They're going to go for it.
Let's see what they can do. Already Gemty's gone down. This should be go time, but maybe they're not wanting to push across. The nade flushes as well. Gemty has lost. Team Liquid were taking fights everywhere, and they've got themselves spread incredibly thin here. HP is so low on Jeems. Ibby's still alive, trying to do what he can. Fuzzface finally goes down. That took a while.
That's a long bleed. That was,
But the Knights hold all the cards.
Well, Windstrike, though, don't forget about Jolski. Jolski's still down there. Mexi just laying in wait. Windstrike very vocal about their position. Sixmo still playing very much on the edge, trying to crawl his way in there. But I think the Knights, they now have all the cards. They have the advantage. They have the ridge lines. And you can see Windstrike, they're kind of running out of positions. They're going to have to go for that road ridge line, and that plays into the Knights' favor.
Yeah, it certainly does. The Knights have taken the advantage while the action was hot, while the iron was hot. The issue is Sixmo. Maybe he could be a problem to them, potentially pick off one, open things up here. But for them, you want to hold Zark in the north, consolidate everyone towards the center, and use him as your kind of swing point if required. Drayden keeps the fire down towards the rest of Windstrike, just spraying in towards that smoke, keeping the pressure on if he gets to see it. But what is that shot from Nookie? That's terrifying, and they're pushing back over.
They're pushing it. They're coming over the road. This is a great little move.
They're leaving Liquid. They are leaving them alone, and they're going to go for the complete sweep through the eastern side.
Is Wanted ready for this? I don't think he is. Sixmo, look at Sixmo. Sixmo in the bottom there. Is he going to go for Wanted? He's just following him. As soon as Wanted turns around, he's going to look straight towards him. Windstrike almost on top of the Knights now. They're all coming on the hillside.
Nade.
There's the nade. Reels gets down. Sixmo continues to sneak on behind them. Nookie catches Drayden off guard. There he goes. Wanted caught in the back by Sixmo. And just like that, the Knights, they don't know what just happened to them. Sixmo happened. He just picks himself up 2 more kills for Digital Athletics. And Windstrike suddenly have a great position. But Liquid look to benefit from it.
Yeah, this is scary. You've given Team Liquid time to recover. The same for what remains with FaZe. There's so much potential now here. And look at the positioning from Jeems and Ibby. They hold really nice, awkward positions for everyone else getting forward, because that center point is pretty much in the road.
Jeems, as you mentioned, that little point to pop up with the Grozer as well. Absolutely could nail you down. Mexi's creeping forward. Nobody looking his way, so he's got a bit of freedom right now. Windstrike know that there is still a member of FaZe Clan over there, so they're keeping their attention that way. They've dealt with the threat from the hillside, which they felt was nice. Yeah, they're going to peel over. This is good. Nookie's holding the angle, and Mexi, I feel, might get caught off guard here.
Let's see. He's got a really nice ridgeline. Look, he's holding the headshot peak. I'm pretty sure if we went first-person perspective on him, he might have a nice angle to work from. But he's got hard cover here. They're going to play this slow. They've got a good idea. Look at this cover. Nice work, but the kill's not there. Juski just gets tagged. The overpeak.
James got it.
James out of nowhere.
James.
Now Windstrike are terrified. Where did that just come from? Who on earth is there? They know they're nearby, but good split from Windstrike. Nuki will keep them safe. He is their security blanket. He is what's going to keep them in this game now.
Sixmo is still creeping up behind Nuki. Tixu's going for the angle. Sees little peek of James's head there. 7 frags for Team Liquid. Windstrike similar as well. Sixmo, they have to remember there is someone over there. Sixmo strikes, he gets Jorski down, picks back around, and now Team Liquid will go for it. He gets Sixmo down. Now it's going to cause a problem. Tixu's going to have to back away from this one. They have to try and do something to deal with that backstab. Can they get Jorski back on his feet? Don't think so.
No.
They're going to go for it, and that's going to give Liquid a massive advantage, I feel.
You know the Liquid want this situation. They know they want the fight. They are blood hungry, but Tixu is there. Now down to just James. Left in a 1v1 situation. Nuki on the other side. It's going to be time. They're going for the fight. Nuki gets tagged up, forced away. That's big from James. That's bought him time. Tixu wants the information. Nuki is trying to get a heal with the blue on his back. He's going to be forced forward. He's going to be able to breach over that top.
It's going to be 2v1
James
though.
Is up. James got Ibby up, and it's going to surely be... This is going to be Liquid's lead.
Nuki tries to go for it, but no, it is James that comes out on top. That grows are paying off.